All right, so Dworak, I'm looking at the target here. Very ambitious target for China's economy for 2025. I want to ask you, what is the setting of that target? What does it say about the Chinese government's optimism despite the trade war? And does it give us a preview on what we should expect when it comes to government stimulus?
Well, I actually think I agree with Eunice on this one. This was a pretty ambitious target. Expected, though. I think analysts have been expecting it to be around 5%. I think the fiscal deficit spending being raised to around 4% is significant, Frank. It says that China expects that they will need to have some powder to fight some of the Trump tariff action. So net, I think this is about what people expected, but it's still pretty bullish for what we think are still some significant internal challenges that China's facing. And we've talked about all of those last year, as well as the new external challenges being presented by the Trump administration. If you think about a Venn diagram here, Frank, there's a lot of stuff in the middle that overlaps.
All right, so should we expect a significant amount of more stimulus when it comes to China? And also, does this give us a sense of how the state government and Xi Jinping, how they see private companies? We know he met with private companies just a few weeks ago, I believe back on February the 17th. Does that mean we should expect to see the government more cooperative with those private companies and even more output from those companies?
Yeah, first on the stimulus, Frank, you and I have had this conversation quite a bit. Every single time last year when we thought Xi Jinping would open up the spigot, sort of juice the stimulus, that did not happen. I think people were perhaps expecting to hear a little bit more at the National People's Congress and in the work report from Li Qiang. It didn't come, but it also left the door open given some of the fiscal deficit spending. So I think they're keeping powder dry. They know they may need this down the road. The private sector, though, Frank, this is a very interesting point you raised. Look, I think in order to really deal with those external challenges that we're talking about that the Trump administration is posing, they're going to have to bring the private sector in from the cold, Frank. And, we talked about Trump unleashing the animal spirits here in the U.S. She will need to unleash the animal spirits of the private sector in order to weather this onslaught that I think is coming.
Dworak, we got to go, but can you just bottom line it for us really quick? Does this make China more investable, less investable after this target, the same? We've seen a lot of big name investors be very bullish on China.
Yeah, I certainly would not jump to the fact that it's investable. Again, a lot of the dynamics, internal and external, hasn't changed that much. I think the trajectory is going in the right direction, but I wouldn't jump off the deep end just yet, Frank.